Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So I thought this was very telling and interesting. Change Research conducted a survey and they found that political leanings are the number one red flag for both men and women. These are people out dating. So although the answers differed, these were this was their top issue, was political leaning. So 64% of the men that they surveyed said that if a woman identified as a communist, it would be a turnoff. That was their number one answer. I mean, who refers to themselves as a communist nowadays? I don't know a single person. Anyway, for a woman, being a quote, MAGA Republican was by far the biggest red flag. You don't say. 76% of the women said that this would not be a desirable trait in a mate that they were starting to date if they had just met someone. A majority of the women also said that if a man said to her that there were only two genders or that all lives matter, that would also be a red flag, either one of those. And then identifying as a communist also was a concern for women, but not as much as the other three. And what's concerning is that men and women are starting to really diverge in their political affiliation. So it makes sense why we have, record low marriage rates and all kinds of things. More and more men saying in surveys that they're single, that they just can't find anybody to date, and women being okay with it. Because CNBC had published an article about this, and they said that 10 years ago, liberal women and men were almost evenly split. 30% of women and 27% of men at that time identified as liberal. So, you had a good ratio to find a mate. Well, in 2021, the genders just started to completely split. They started to go in different directions. Now, 44, I guess as of 2021, 44% of women now say that they are liberal, but only 25% of men still identify as liberal. So a professor at the University of Alabama, she's a professor with a very long title in communication and information sciences. She pointed out, quote, "From our research, we did find that when people have a partner across the line of politics, they are generally less satisfied in their relationships, and they are more likely to have intense conflict." And people have definitely become more intolerant of political differences in the Donald Trump era. I mean, we've all seen it, we've witnessed it, and there's a good reason, right? I mean, it's no longer a matter of whether or not we should increase taxes on people, whether or not the deficit is okay. It's a matter of, do you believe that it's okay to steal immigrant children from their parents and never give them back years later? It's a question of bigotry. It's a question of whether or not you think it's okay for men to rape women or grab women by their private parts and mock disabled people and then still hold power. Those aren't things that you can overlook as a person with a conscience, with a moral compass. So what I found odd is in this CNBC article, they quoted a former Trump advisor, and he just doesn't seem to get it. He does not understand this. His name is Daniel Huff, and he said that when he was working for Trump, he had one of the shortest dates on record. He told a woman what he did for a living, and Huff said she just got up and left. And he said, quote, "That was like a 2-minute date." He said she didn't even take a sip of her wine. She just got up and walked out. Can't really blame her. And Huff was just puzzled by this. He's like puzzled, even though he went and he created a dating app specifically for Republicans. It's called The Right Stuff. If that's right, I'd rather be wrong. Thank you. Anyway, Huff told the reporter, quote, "I might be willing to entertain it, but folks on the left will not. Dating is hard enough without adding an additional element, which has gotten very important to people. You'd think the day-to-day is more important, as opposed to what is your opinion on if we should build a wall? That doesn't affect our day to day. Really? Bigotry doesn't affect your day to day, your morals, your character. Those aren't important, apparently, to him. Or at least he doesn't think it should be on a day to day basis. I mean, that explains so much, doesn't it? Anyway, I thought this was kind of fascinating, very interesting to see how women and men are just diverging, how they are just not seeing eye to eye anymore. Not that, there aren't a lot of left-leaning men out there, but at least the ones who took this survey and the ones who took the other surveys, yeah, they're definitely leaning more right. And we've seen that in the polling and we've seen that in the numbers after the elections, where definitely more men are voting Republican, more men are leaning either Republican or libertarian. And so, yeah, it's sad. I don't know when they're going to get that. That's not where the women are. If you're looking for a woman, she's not over there. At least not the ones that, aren't like Marjorie Taylor Trader Green and Lauren Bobo. Yeah, or maybe they are looking for a Lauren Bobo to take to the theater. Anyway, I'll let you know if I hear more. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like this video, share it with others, become a subscriber if you have not, become a donor if you possibly can, or leave a one-time tip or super thanks, depending on the platform you're on. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.